Hey guys, we're back. Thanks for joining us again. We hope you really enjoyed episode 2. Mo put a ton of effort into it, so we're really excited for that one. And now we are straight on to episode 3. The theme of this one is going to be called Good versus Evil. And this was my brainchild after last game we played, which involved, obviously, a little bit of king making. A lot of king making, actually.
A lot of king making, Chris. A whole lot of king making.
Yeah. So we're getting ready, as you can see, to play another game with a few friends who are coming over. Yep. It's going to be another vanilla game. Not my choice. But we're going to see where it goes.
So who are you playing, Chris?
I am going to be playing the Necrovirus.
Yes.
The bad guys, basically. And who are you going to be playing?
I am also playing the bad guys. I'm over there, actually. I will be playing the L1Z1X. No, actually, I'm right here. Yeah. I'll be the L1Z1X. So I'm also the bad guys. So Chris and I are both going to be bad guys, which should prove interesting.
Yes.
Now we've got, I think Renata here is playing, we got Yasarl, we got Hakan over there. Mentak is bad guys, right? And then who is... Oh, and Sar. So we kind of have like 2 good guys and 4... Two good guys, 3 absolutely bad guys.
The Sar are kind of cuddly.
They are? Oh, the Sar are cuddly. Okay, so it's 3, maybe it's 3-3.
Yeah.
So we kind of have a Mentak, or what would you consider the Mentak?
I mean, they're pirates. So.
They're pirates, so they're probably bad.
Yeah.
So it's
nobody likes them because they steal all the trade goods. So.
Yeah. So we're looking at like 3-ish good guys and 3 bad guys.
Right.
Which is interesting, right? Now, what's the thing here? Do you think that we're going to be treated that way? What are you hoping to see?
That's where my brainchild kind of came for this episode. Was I really wanted to kind of explore the role playing aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Because I think unlike really like a game like say chess, which I don't know if you've heard of before, not Mo.
Oh, I only have like 3 or 4 chess sets in the house. What is chess?
Yeah, but like a chess, you sit down. Obviously, it's black and white, but nobody's really the good guy and the bad guy in chess. It's just 2 people playing the game, and you're kind of evenly matched. Where I feel like this game, when you sit down, you really not necessarily become the character, but you pick the character based on there is an emotional component to it. And I also feel like when you're playing it, there's also an emotional component to playing other people you're playing.
Yes.
Like, I've noticed when I played something like Jolnar, people don't really attack you until they have to, because you're this just weird alien space university nerd. And it's like, well, I just don't really want to attack Jolnar.
Yep.
But, like, the Necro... first round, people are just like, yeah, I'm just going to attack the Necro because they're going to...
They're evil. They're going to attack me. They're going to steal my attack, and they're awful.
Right. So I really did want to just kind of see how the different characters you pick and inhabit through the game kind of challenge the play style, if you will.
I played Hakan last time, and I felt like I was like, hey, you want to trade? You want to trade?
Right.
So it does kind of, and the abilities or the faction abilities kind of compel you to play a certain way. As the L1Z1X, I'll probably be trying to take some systems. So I'm probably going to be I'll play like a bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like playing, me, I don't like playing Space Risk.
Uh-huh.
Although I did get a taste for blood after last game.
Dude, I'm all on Space Risk. Like, I've never been too peaceful in the games, but as I've started to play, I really have gotten I'm getting a bad reputation. I think
Watch out for this guy. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
but I'm surprised even myself how much I'm really leaning towards Space Risk. But who knows? I do know with Twilight Imperium, every game is different. So I could be the most peaceful Necro in this game, and
that's right. Yeah,
we will see how
Chris,
it goes.
if there's anything that's a theme with Chris, by the way, is that he goes, "Here's what I'm going to do this game," and then the game starts and he does the exact opposite.
Yeah.
This is where we're now on 2 different instances where this has happened. So we'll see if this happens again.
Yeah. So knowing me, I'm going to have no command tokens. I'm going to be stuck in my slice, and I'm just going to be like,
let's be buddies.
Right. Hey, Akan, give me. Hey, Mo, don't harrow me too much.
Well, this will be interesting. So anything that we should, besides just us being evil and the others being good?
Again, I think it's more I just want to see how the game plays and kind of how the different factions affect the game.
Yeah.
And then, also kind of find out how other people's perceptions influence the game. And I think once people get here, we can kind of talk to them about their strategies and kind of what they want going into the game and kind of see how that impacts everything overall.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
I like it.
So I think people are getting here now.
They are.
So we will be back in a very short while to set up the game and have some opening discussions.
Awesome. Yep.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Welcome back. We have everybody here. They all just arrived. So we're all seated
One
here.
big happy family to start.
Getting ready to start. And Chris, you and I have already kind of talked about this. So do you have any other intros before this, or do you want to?
Not really, but we're looking forward to a really, really fun game. And I'm going to be the most peaceful necro there is. I'm not going to attack anybody. I'm just sit there, trade the con.
See how everybody's already like, yeah, right. So, yeah.
So I guess start off, Kia. What is your strategy here? What are you going to be doing?
So my main strategy is not being Nalu. We're going to see how a new faction works. Everyone knows I love my Nalu, but this time I'm like, I'm going to do something else. And the Sar they're lovable. Like, it's sad. They were abused and abandoned and they ran off to these asteroid belts. So we're going to see what I can do with them.
Look at that. See, she's already very like, oh,
They're cute
they're
little...
just trying
She's
to.
adjusted to the character.
Yeah. Daniel.
Yeah, I didn't know we had to do prep work on our characters. So, yeah.
Where's your costume?
I am Hakan. Goal is to get all the money as much as I can, and just be the guy that anyone can trade with. I want to be good. So money and tokens are what I'm looking at. I'm trying to make sure I have as many options available at any time, just so if I get surprised by any objectives, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Tim, are you going to be evil?
Is that how we're okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was told apparently the Mentak are evil, but I disagree. If you read their faction history, they were oppressed for hundreds of years by the previous empire. And then they finally overthrew them, and now they engage in some small amount of piracy, but
Just trying to get by.
Like they're Robin Hood, like they're stealing from
We
the
engage in
rich.
some.
In terms of actual strategy, the Mentak, they have this ambush ability, which makes their cruisers very strong. So I'm going to be probably getting Cruiser 2 as soon as possible, and then kind of moving around the board a lot, hopefully not making too many enemies, because actually pillage is optional. You don't always have to pillage people.
But you will.
But you will.
Yeah. If you're next to me, you will.
Yeah, and I'm playing Space Goblins. I know they have a real name. I can't pronounce it, so they are my Space
The
Goblins.
Yssarl.
Asarl.
I love the Yssarl.
And they are great for learning because they can stall.
Yeah.
So I'm going to watch you guys and hopefully learn something.
They're sneaky little goblins, but they're just like you. But they're cute. They're kind of cute.
Not like you.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. And we already talked about it. So I'm playing for you guys. I guess we'll say it again. I'm playing the L1Z1X. They are they are absolutely the throne should be theirs. I mean they clearly so they're coming here to reclaim what is theirs, which is Mechatol Rex. And they're not there to be aggressive, but might makes right, and they're ready to flex muscle if they need to.
And I'm the Necro, and I'm really nice and peaceful, and just the good old space virus. Just
a virus.
Yeah.
How can you
that's
love
all.
a virus? You just
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna make it happen.
You gonna make it happen, Chris?
All right, guys, we're gonna play our game, and we'll pick you up on afterwards. So thank you very much.
Yep. Let's do it. All right. We are
All right.
recording.
Good. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. We're back. Just had our game? A little bit ago. Mo and I were just talking.
We still have some PTSD.
Yeah, although we've had a little bit of time to decompress from the last game.
Yeah, Chris.
so-
Chris went to the beach. He just needed.
Yeah, I got out of here. I said I can't lose my homeworld repeatedly anymore.
So episode 3, we got to talk about what happened. This was
Yeah.
one of the crazier games. It's been a culminating series of games that have been culminating in terms of what do we want to call it? Space violence.
Yes. Space abuse.
Space abuse. Yeah, Chris, kick it off, man.
No.
Go ahead.
I will say I think this little segment goes out to anybody who's ever lost their homeworld. And just the pain and the outright humiliation that comes with it, I fully understand. And I would like to say, just be proud, because if you haven't played TI and lost your homeworld, then you really haven't played it all. One thing I will say, just to kick it off, in all seriousness, is it happens. The best thing to do is just to kind of deal with it. And realize that it's only a game.
So let's back up a
Yeah.
second here. We went into this game with the point of playing, good factions versus
Right.
evil factions,
Yes.
and that was the whole point. Is that we wanted to sort of see. Well, I think you wanted to see how that affects the game.
Yeah.
You played the Necro,
Mm-hmm.
and I played one of my favorites, the Lizics, who are, let's be honest, they really are the ones who should own this galaxy, because they are the Lazaks reborn. Anyway, sorry, lore, we're going to get it out of the way for a second. But that being said, we played evil factions, and right off the bat, we were not treated kindly.
No. And I honestly think this game was a good proving the point,
Yeah.
if you will, of what my initial hypothesis was.
Yeah.
Was that there is an element of role playing to the game.
And we reinforced that role-playing
Yes.
when we started the game off by
Yeah.
recording everybody saying, hey, what are you playing and why? And everybody really kind of slipped into their
Right.
factions and looked at the rest of us. Like, I even made an offhanded comment like, oh, we are owed the galaxy, and if you
Yeah.
don't give it to us, we'll have to take it by some other means. Like, we kind of set the
No,
game up to be
absolutely.
like, hey, we're not the nice guys, and everybody else kind of played the nice guys.
Right.
Daniel played the ultimate nice guy.
Yeah.
He played Hakan.
Right.
And he was like just sitting there going, I don't want to fight anybody. I'm just gonna trade with everybody.
He won, by
and
the
he
way.
won. Of course he won, because
But he won because we just all the seasoned
nobody-
players annihilated each other is really what it boiled down to.
yes. I have something that happened with me. Something happened with you,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah.
How do we want to kick this? How do we want to start? Do
I
you want
mean-
to talk about what happened with you with the?
I mean, I was again the neighbors next to Kia, who was the Tsar,
Who?
and she got a little close to my home system.
But why? Why did she?
Well, I don't know why. I mean, I'm still trying to.
Do you
sort that one
recall
out.
maybe the game before how you took her home system? Do you think that
Well,
maybe she went
that was
into this-
justified. I was sole.
Yeah, well, she went into this game. I believe. I'm gonna get a little closer here.
Yeah.
I believe that Kia went into this game with the intention of taking Chris's home
Possibly.
system.
Possibly.
Or at least when she found out that she was next to him, she said, "You know what?
Yeah.
It's payback time."
Yeah.
So-
I mean, there was likely that. I will concede that, and then that's certainly something to consider when you're gaming.
Yeah.
But part of it is I will give her, some benefit of the doubt in the fact that I think one of her secret objectives was get close to someone or get
somebody's home system.
get somebody-
And she happened to be your neighbor.
No, I don't think it was get home system. I
It
think
was get the
get the system
ships next to the
Yeah, I think that was it. But I think once she did that with Tsar, I took that as a huge threat.
He attacked.
I was a little more, how do I say,
Confrontational.
Yeah, confrontational than I normally would. But
Yeah.
you put a big SAR ball next to my home
gonna be a
planet, and it was a problem. So I just literally we both annihilated each other in one big battle.
But she ended up taking his home system.
Yes,
Because
and
she had
then-
more left over to take in, and then she
Right.
sat on it like a mother goose.
Yeah.
And just didn't let go.
Mhm.
And I watched
Yeah.
Chris just like deflate, man. His it was, and I even was just asking you like, how is it? And I wasn't trying to be a jerk.
Yeah,
it was just like, hey, I felt like we weren't having a great game right off the bat.
It was fine. Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Look, it more what I would drive home the point that you kind of have to realize with TI. One thing I do want to, and we can talk about Mo's confrontation with Tim,
Yes.
but I do want to come back to it, but I think one thing with TI, and there's a few other games that have this component as well, is there is a very personal component to it. I think you, as much as we love TI, I think there can be a dark side to it that part of it what makes it intriguing is you really are playing against the person.
Yes.
And that can get very
Personal.
Personal.
It can get personal.
It can if you're not careful. If you really
we've had it happen with some people we don't know as well. Now we have regular games where we play with people that have, now I call them friends, right? They're TI friends, and when you're playing this game with friends, you're there's a little more tolerance. Right, that you can get a little upset. I got a little upset.
Yeah.
But it was the kind of upset of I like to. It's within the theme of the game.
Yeah.
It's within the I was trying to once the game's over. Hey, you're back to friends again, and we have our friendship group is the kind where that's the case, and it's great. But we have played with people that we don't know as well at public spaces where they can get really legitimately upset, and it gets personal. So it's also part of what makes the game interesting to me, in my opinion.
Absolutely, it's like the high and low lows of TI, and I just want to touch on, and that was more of this like a public service announcement, and kind of, have you ever had your home system taken? No. Yeah. But I really did want to touch on that of the kind of or the byproduct of this game is there is an emotional connection you can get to the game,
to your faction, and then to the way the other players react to you. I mean, round one, if you recall, I'm playing the Lizics, and I kind of did set up everybody for to be like, look, I'm a rough 'em up faction, and right off the bat, but honestly, Chris knows this. I like to win through peace. I think peace is the best way to win. I kept looking at Daniel the whole time, going, he's going to win because he's not fighting enemy. You fight, you lose plastic. That's resources lost. So diplomacy. War is diplomacy by other means, but sometimes just fighting for the sake of fighting is not going to help you win the game. And honestly, like I played the Lizics because I just we wanted to do this sort of good versus evil thing. But round one, people were not letting me score objectives. Like just and not even ones that were were an assault on anybody else. I didn't take anybody else's systems or whatever. It was just, hey, I'm trying to score an objective here. It doesn't take away from you guys. But nobody wanted me to score it. And it's because people have been like, yeah, we don't want Mo to win. We don't want this sort of Lizics guy to start putting points on the board. So round one, I was already kind of like, well, gee, okay. Nobody actively stopping me from winning. I even picked trade. I picked trade round one so I can get influence. So I can get trade goods and be able to score the first objective with it, which I think was get 5 trade goods. And so you get 3 trade goods. And then you get commodities, which I was trying to trade with other people. But people wouldn't even trade commodities with me so that I do not score the round one objective. And the thing is, I'm like, but guys, I picked trade. That's a whole strategy card to score that objective, and they didn't let me. So okay, so that was me getting all personal about it, and I didn't let it affect me, but it definitely set the tone for the game. The tone for the game was okay. I'm going to have to actually take what's mine here. And that kind of introduced a level of violence, of fighting, of not peacefulness to the game. Meanwhile, Daniel, he kind of scored his points. Good for him, and I'm glad he did it right. He won.
He just kept getting money and building ships, and nobody attacked him. He had all of his dreadnoughts, all of his cruisers. He had his flag. Everything was out, basically. He just had everything out, and he didn't fight one battle. And we were at some point, it was just like.
Meanwhile, I had Tim as a neighbor, and Tim and I. Tim's a great guy. He's a good friend, good TI friend, but yet whenever him and I tend to be next to each other, there's a little bit of a struggle,
right?
And even it's the kind of struggle of not just us fighting for points. It's he doesn't want me to win, I don't want him to win. We both respect each other as players, so there's a tit for tat. But that tit for tat, if left unchecked, goes far. And I don't like when somebody just randomly attacks a system of mine without any kind of diplomacy, and that's what he did. And I had to punish him for it, and punish him I did. I took his home system. Well, here's the thing about taking somebody's home system, and I learned this, and Chris even told me during the game. When
Yeah.
you take somebody's home system, you go all the way.
Yes.
You do not take the home system and then go like, look, it was just my way of flexing my muscle, but now I'm going to walk away and let's be friends again. Because I did that.
Yeah, you
and
did.
he wasn't friends. It was kind of like, it's that whole thing about weakening the opponent, but then letting him live. And just walking away and going, I'm sure you're not going to come back and try to stab me later. So that was my mistake.
Yeah.
So if you take somebody's home system, my advice to you is it's personal at that point. And because it's personal, you can't it can't be a half-baked thing where you just do it and run away. And that's what I did, and it caused me problems. It wasted resources, it wasted time, and that was what I learned from that game, Chris.
Right. Be more merciless.
More merciless. I was the Lizix, man. That's it. I took your home system,
See, I learned
resistance is futile,
I learned to be more merciful, and you learned to be more merciless.
Yeah.
So-
Well, if you're gonna play an evil faction and people are treating you evil, and you have to sort of and you play the part, right? Don't just have a change of heart. The Lizix don't go, you know what? We've assimilated your people, but we've decided you're no. Role play. I should have kept his home system. I should have made him fight for it. I would have actually made him have a hard time taking it back. I walked away
You
from
could
it.
have. You had
I
a ton of shit.
I had a ton of stuff on it. The great thing about the Lizix is once they take the system, they can produce right then and there, and produce I did, but then I walked away from it. So, interesting game. Definitely an interesting game.
Yes. Yes.
Learned a few. Definitely. Oh, you always learn something new from TI about life. About it. It was great. It was, but it was high drama. It was a high drama game. My God.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. And it was fun. I really did enjoy it, despite the fact that I scored like a point. No, I had fun. I definitely enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And again, just to go back to my point, I would just like to stress for everybody, you're gonna have games where you lose.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have games where nothing goes your way.
Just enjoy
or
it.
you get annihilated turn 2, and that's it.
That's it.
And
That's TI.
Right. Ting. But I would just realize that it's part of the game. And one of the also things I did think about, reflecting on the game is, and this kind of gets back to some of the stuff we were talking about in episode 2, but despite the fact that we think it is a completely strategic and completely, personal game of glory, there is a lot of randomness to it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of,
Dice. You're
throwing dice. You're pulling cards out.
Yeah.
And
that's part of the fun.
But
it's not always going to go your way.
Some of the fights completely. I think you had one against him where you destroyed one of his ships. And
it was awful.
He annihilated your entire fleet.
I got upset. I was hosting, and I actually was. I sent a massive fleet, and I walked away with nothing. And he had lost maybe one ship, and it was one of those. I just watched it, and it all made sense rule wise. But I was like, and I chucked the dice, and everybody looked at me, and they were like. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay, guys. I'm fine. But I was upset. I was upset because it was like, what happened? How did he was playing the Mentac, right?
He was playing the Mentac.
And he had that ability
to assault or
it was called he had this
ambush.
And ambush with his flagship makes it so that there's no you lose sustain damage, which means every single dreadnought that I had that would have been able to sustain a hit just was gone. Mm-hmm. It hurt.
And you had assault cannon too.
And I had assault cannon. I mean,
it was it was one of those you look at and you just shake your head and you say, that. But more, I'm saying that happens. And I think it was the right play for you.
It was.
It's one of those things that
just did not work out for me.
Right.
And that's gonna happen. And that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you got to be a good sport about it. And here we are talking about it in a fun way, And it's the stories. The great TI people. The reason I think people love to play TI. The reason I love to play TI. And I've heard this. I'm part of the TI community, and people talk about this. Every game you talk about what happened is a story. This is a space opera. It's a drama. So live the drama. And if you're on the terrible end of that drama. Well, hey, you're part of the drama. That's cool,
Exactly.
you know. So that's my commentary about TI.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I would say I'm more my takeaway from all of this is, as much as you feel vindicated or embarrassed or whatever, there is a lot. It is a game.
Yeah.
And it is meant to be a fun opportunity to hang out with friends, and I think just to keep that into perspective is really the
Crucial.
importance of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't play evil factions either.
So speaking of which, I think we've taken a week off. I haven't been playing TI at all this week. I haven't even been looking up TI. I actually been looking up a brand new game called Ankh that I just got.
Oh, okay.
Kickstarter anyway.
Cool.
But and then Chris ran off to the beach. So we had a little bit of a mental reset. I believe.
Yes.
And now we're ready to go back because we love TI. And I think this time around, I'm just going to play a very peaceful, I'm actually going to play a peaceful faction. I need to try to play a peaceful game. Don't know yet. I've told you that I think maybe I've been saying I want to play the Nazroja, so maybe it's finally time. But that's my plan, is to play a peaceful faction and just make friends with everybody.
I
not to
will
fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's tempting, and I'm certainly looking up.
You haven't gotten enough fighting from the last 2 or 3 games?
No. I'm kind of on board with that.
Wow, Chris, you're a glutton for punishment.
No. I'm
Oh,
saying
you're on board with the peacefulness.
I'm on board with the peace.
Oh, good.
Peace guys.
Yes.
We'll see how it plays out. You know, because there's something just about, I don't know, building the whole fleet and chucking dice and being like...
That is part of the fun. That is absolutely part of the fun.
Like, there is just some fun of, smashing fleets together and seeing kind of what happens.
Yeah.
So.
Until it turns to frown when you're the loser of
Yeah, but
that.
you know what? There's always another game.
Yeah, there's always another game. Well, that's you're like, as much as I want to play a peaceful faction, I also want to fight sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a nice mixture. It's a nice mixture.
Like, I mean, I will say, there's something about Soul where you can just pump out tons of little cheap stuff and just shuck them. So, we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see how it goes. So, anyways, guys, thanks so much. This has been episode 3, and we're gonna go play some TI and come back very, very soon.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye.